Welcome back to Thinking Critical. This is Wes. I'm here for your Geek Culture 411. And with me, as always, is my partner in crime, my brother from another mother. Skip, how you doing, buddy?
Man, I'm doing good, man. Always down to talk about some news. Got some interesting things, especially following up with some of the things that happened, some of the conversations we had last week with Birds of Prey. So we'll just jump right into it and talk about that geek culture, comic industry news.
News.
And here we go. So, Sonic the Hedgehog broke box office records for video game adaptation, taking in 113 million worldwide opening weekend, easily outpacing Harley Quinn's vehicle, the Birds of Prey. This sparked a trolling war on social media between supporters of the characters. Which fan base looks worse so far, Wes?
Oh, it's pretty funny, like seeing them go back and forth. Like everyone's taking everything so seriously, and it was like, yeah, stick it to the Harley Quinn fans by going and seeing Sonic, and then the Harley Quinn's fans are saying, if you went and saw Sonic, you're an incel, you're a loser. So it's pretty laughable that they're just going back and forth. I'd definitely say the sour grapes always look worse than winning, I guess. So I'll say it looks worse for the Harley Quinn Birds of Prey fans because they do seem to be exceptionally butthurt over the success of Sonic the Hedgehog. Just because your movie didn't quite make it out as far as the finances go, doesn't mean you should be crapping on someone else's favorite character making it. So they both kind of look silly, but I'll go with the winners. I'll say they look better in all this, and the Harley Quinn fans, those stands ain't looking so good this week.
I agree. Yeah, and it's odd because on the flip side, I do feel like some of the people that are taking up the Sonic side of things, I'm wondering how many of those are actually like real hardcore Sonic fans. I don't know. I just don't see the Sonic fan or the Sonic stan group being such a large group of people. For someone who was going to a lot of Smash Bros. Tournaments where Sonic was easily top five characters in the game, has been for the last two games at least. Even that pool of people is a pretty small number of people. So it's interesting, but at the same time, regardless, the people that went and enjoyed the movie, as long as they did, I think that's good for them. And then there's the people in the middle, like my buddy Lost Sheep, who likes Sonic, but also likes Harley Quinn as well. Enjoyed the movie. The the salty people always look the worst. So I think the W goes in the win column of the people that was supporting Sonic at the end of the day.
Yeah, it's weird. It feels like a replay of the Captain Marvel versus Battle Angel Alita groups. It's like they're both, if you like the movie, like the movie. Stop making it so mean.
Right, exactly.
All right. Tom King released new art that appears to confirm Selina Kyle's Catwoman and Bruce Wayne's Batman are expecting a child in King's upcoming Batman Catwoman event series. Is this real, or is King trolling comic readers again?
This is gonna be interesting. Oh gosh, it just occurred to me after already knowing this and seeing it and everything, it just occurred to me. At first, I was thinking, okay, Tom King getting Selina Kyle pregnant. And it's funny when you read the article, it was like, it's a picture of the two heroes at the top of a building caressing while Selina is pregnant. And I was like, two heroes? You mean one hero and a criminal who, yeah, no, I'm like, what? Nah, bro, come on. Like, I know Tom King ain't really got y'all thinking Catwoman is a superhero now. She's not, you know what I mean? She's got another book out there currently where she's very much not, you know what I mean? So I don't know. That was weird. But and then it immediately occurred to me, I'm like, oh man, it's Tom King. So there's got to be some trauma because there's always trauma and like it can't just be like it's one thing to have conflict. I think every story does well with conflict, tensions, and then showing how people handle it. But it's another thing for it to always be trauma. And I'm like, bro, either one or two things happen, and I'm not sure that I feel good about either one. Either one. Batman is gonna have another kid in addition to Damian, which I mean, I guess since the whole 5G thing is gonna happen, Bruce Wayne not being Batman no more, I guess that actually gives him time to be a father because he like that's why Damian came in the way that he did. Bruce Wayne wouldn't have had time to be a father and be Batman. He would have had to stop being Batman. So I'm like, either that's gonna happen and that's part of what's leading over into 5G, or they're gonna make Selina Kyle like have a miscarriage or something like that, something crazy, and the baby won't make it, which would be ridiculously traumatic. And I hope that doesn't happen because I don't want to read about that in a comic book. Like, I know you could, especially with these characters, you could do it in a way, and I don't think it's something that in some other story couldn't be a part of comics as a whole, but that's not something I feel like a Batman story is going to benefit from. Wes, what are your thoughts on this?
I'm almost 100% convinced this isn't actually art from Batman Catwoman. The artist, it's clearly Mikel Janin. He was a
Right.
collaborator
Yeah.
of Tom King in his last Batman series. He's
Yeah.
not on that series. That's Clayman. It's not Clayman's
Right.
art. So
Mhm.
it's either a dream sequence, because sometimes they've done that a bit in Tom King's Batman, but more likely this is just part of the short story that Tom King and Mikel Janin are writing for the Catwoman 80th anniversary special that's coming out later this year. That's $10 or whatever. I imagine this is part of that, and that yes, Tom King was trolling fans, and it worked pretty well because it got a lot of people worked up.
Makes sense. I mean, because even like the initial thought, I'm like, why is a pregnant one? I don't give a damn who you are, Catwoman, so and so, so and so. I'm like, why is a pregnant woman on the top of a damn building right now? Like, this doesn't make sense.
Artist liberties.
Yeah, I guess so. I get it. I get it. All right. Well, anyway, we'll all find out sometime because someone's gonna read it when it comes out and find out. But I think Wes is on to something. And moving over into some Marvel news, some MCU slash Sony universe stuff. Last summer it appeared Spider-Man, because Superman is in the MCU now. Yeah, Spider-Man would exit the MCU after Disney and Sony reached an impasse with the negotiations. Crisis was averted, and Tom Holland's Spidey is firmly entrenched in the MCU now. Sony Pictures chairman Tom Rothman recently indicated he wants Spider-Man to remain in the MCU for the foreseeable future. Does this pave the way for Spidey to be the next leader of the Avengers in the MCU?
So that's a pretty good question because it should pave the way because clearly Tom Holland Spider-Man has been set up to be the spiritual successor to Tony Stark's Iron Man. He is he was his mentor. He gave him his armor. He basically Tony Stark sacrifices his life to bring him back, and he's now kind of the heart and soul of the team, at least as far as fans are concerned. Captain America's not there. Thor is off, doing something else. So it would make sense that it would be Spider-Man, just because he would carry on the spirit of Tony Stark, within the MCU and for the Avengers. But I think it'll probably still end up being Captain Marvel, which I think is a terrible choice. I don't think she's just that character is divisive. I don't think she really made an impact even with their movie or in the Avengers Endgame. So it should be Spider-Man, probably, in my opinion. Even though he's a young character, I really think he was basically groomed to replace Iron Man. But I think the MCU is going to zig when it should zag, and it'll probably end up being Captain Marvel.
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me. Like it's crazy. I'm thinking of what was it about Tony Stark that made him be, in a sense, the leader. I still felt like Captain America was ultimately the leader. From the first Avengers movie where he gained everybody's trust, and then everybody's like, all right, Cap, what else you got? Because he was able to like see the battlefield and see patterns and start pointing it out, master tactician. I still feel like Cap ultimately was the leader, but I'm
I
sure.
think Cap was the military leader, whereas like Tony was the leader.
Yeah, I mean they basically, I mean, yeah, for sure. Like, trust me, I'm in the minority saying that, like, because anybody who thinks about the Avengers, like, here on out, especially from the MCU standpoint, look at Iron Man as the leader. But I'm thinking, okay, well, what did Iron Man bring? Well, the first thing he had that everybody would probably think of is the technology. He had the technology. The second thing would be the money. And then obviously he had the charm. He didn't per se have like the emotional wherewithal and like the level head, like he grew into that over time, and they did a nice arc showing him mature in the movie. But I'm thinking like, well, Spider-Man don't have the money, and Spider-Man don't have the experience. The only thing that Spider-Man does have is the charm, unless of course Tony Stark leaves him his fortune or something like that, and then all of a sudden he's that version of Spider-Man that you know got all rich and everything that people weren't really connecting with not that long ago. So that's the only thing. To me, it would make more sense. And I'm not I accidentally got a Black Panther shirt on. I'm not standing, but it would make more sense for T'Challa to be the leader because he does have experience. He leads a nation. He is rich. And he has the technology. He has better technology than anybody else does on the planet at the time. But that's not going to happen. Count on that. So I think it does go back between it being Captain Marvel and Spider-Man. I'm hoping that since they're trying to focus on the MCU, the cosmic part, I'm hoping that they leave her out there in space. She can lead whatever's going on up there. I think that's fine. But I'm wondering how much time, like seriously, just within the flow of the story, how much time does she really have to spend on Earth? I mean, even in Endgame, they made a good point of her staying out there trying to help the rest of the planet because the other planets don't have an Avengers or whatever. So I'm hoping that they stick with that and go that route. But honestly, I'll be honest with you, I don't really feel good about Spider-Man or her being it. I would feel better about Black Panther, but I don't think Black Panther has a good shot. So I'm kind of really not. I kind of really don't feel good about any of it. But Tom Holland, if it's gonna be anybody, I'm hoping it's Tom Holland. I guess.
Black Panther, outsold them all as far as ticket sales. Skip. It appears Netflix are developing a new Diablo anime and Overwatch cartoon series. Which are you more excited for?
I have never. I've played more Diablo than I've played Overwatch, but I like Overwatch more than I like Diablo. So I'm gonna say I'm more excited for. I'm gonna say I'm more excited for the Overwatch series. I've got a buddy of mine who works with me on the Video Game Bang channel. That's the comic book channel that I work on. He actually works for the SF Shock, who are the world champions from the Overwatch League from last season, and he really kind of got me more educated and it got me actually to play a little bit of Overwatch. So and I like the aesthetic in Overwatch better. It's really cool and it easily lends to anime because it takes a healthy amount of inspiration from anime. So I'm interested in that. I think both are going to be dope though because Diablo is a crazy game. Wes, which one do you have your money on? Which one are you more excited about?
Well, it kind of says in the article that Diablo is going to be anime, whereas Overwatch is going to be like a Western cartoon. So it's got to be Diablo as far as anime. Netflix is killer when it comes to anime. All their anime is a lot of fun, even the stuff that they produce in house. I'm not as big a fan as their cartoon stuff. Plus, Diablo is it's a cool game with a cool concept. They definitely got to work on some of the story stuff, or at least from the Diablo that I've played. So I'm definitely more on the Diablo hype chain because they did specifically say that would be anime, and I think that's really Netflix's sweet spot when it comes to original materials. Outside of that, I don't think Netflix is really where it's at right now.
I agree. Yeah, they blazed a path earlier on with House of Cards, but ultimately, I think a lot of people have caught up to them with making original content. But their anime, I don't think too many people are touching them when it comes to original anime, or at least they pack a really good punch. So, good point, Wes. Back to some comic book news. IDW released preview art of Rob Liefeld's anticipated Snake Eyes Dead Game miniseries this week. On a scale of Transformers the movie to Transformers: The Rise of the Fallen, how excited are you for Snake Eyes Dead Game?
Ooh, so I love Transformers the movie. That's amazing. And I hate Transformers Rise of the Fallen. This is easily a Transformers the movie from 1984, the original on Cybertron with the death of Optimus Prime, one of the emotionally impacting moments of my life as a youth. It devastated me when I saw Optimus go down. Rob Liefeld on a Snake Eyes comic book? Are you kidding me? This is why I read comic books. Snake Eyes is easily my favorite GI Joe character. As far as characters outside of movie, cartoon characters, he's probably right there. He's number one or number two. I'm kind of leaning towards number one. I've read some of his comic books; they're almost all really good, especially if Chuck Dixon is writing them. So I think Rob Liefeld's Snake Eyes Dead game is going to be awesome. And I saw the preview art. He's got lots of pouches for tactical purposes. He's probably stuffed and filled to the brim with throwing stars and all other kinds of cool shit that he's going to bring out. It's going to be awesome. I can't wait for it. We're definitely on a Transformers the movie 1984 right here. Couldn't be more excited, Skip.
Throwing stars, smoke bombs,
Mm-hmm.
those little things that you throw on the ground and people step on and it hurts their feet. Snake Eyes always comes with the full repertoire of weapons. Yeah, man. Snake Eyes is one of my favorites. I really dig it. I'll be honest though, I saw the cover and it looks super dope, but of course there was a Liefeldism in there. There's like a shoulder pad that goes out and you can like kind of barely see his arm like along the side of his body, and then there's other arms like this and the shoulder pad is not as pronounced. And I was just like, Rob Liefeld gonna Rob Liefeld, bro. Like that looks like such an inconsistency in the art. Flashing back to some of the times when like Shatterstar like would have a ponytail and then like wouldn't have a ponytail, and like all sorts of like those weird things that Rob Liefeld used to do. Rob Liefeld, like I said, is gonna Rob Liefeld, but still, with the exception of like the weird shoulder pad inconsistency, the rest of it looks dope, man, and it's still cool to see Rob Liefeld, like him actually grow as an artist. He has grown, like he has not grown a whole crap ton, but he has grown. The cover still looks dope, even with the shoulder pad inconsistency. I think it's going to be packed full of fun. It's definitely going to harken back to comic books of the 90s, but with all of the advantages of the way that comic books are produced in 2020. So it's going to be pretty dope.
Yeah, he has definitely grown as an artist. He would have done some way crazier stuff, back, 20 years ago. He's keeping it dialed in. He's doing the best he can, and it looks pretty damn gory to boot. All right, final one, Skip. WWE superstar Sasha Banks is appearing in season 2 of The Mandalorian. What Star Wars character do you think the legit boss herself is playing?
Oh, you know what? I don't think that they're gonna have her play anybody very significant, only because I'm sure, like, she's an incredible athlete from being on WWE. She is very beautiful, full of charisma. Everything that you want from someone who is putting on a show. But I think being that this is, kind of one of her first acting gigs, she's still earlier on. Unlike Gina Carano, who had, been in a big blockbuster movie before and a few other films, I think they're going to give her a much smaller role. I'm hoping that she makes it past that the editing bay. It's actually undetermined who she will be. I think obviously she's going to be someone. They're not going to have a mask on her. She's gonna play. They're gonna put her charismatic, beautiful face front and center in whatever scene she is in. But I don't think she's gonna play anyone significant. To be honest, I think they put that in as a fail safe just in case the screen tests fail, or they're like, oh, you know what? Turns out we got to edit her out, so they don't end up editing out someone who is very important. But Wes, do you have any leads on who Sasha may be playing?
Man, I don't know what the hell you're talking about. This is Sasha Banks. This is the legit boss. Her cousin is Snoop Dogg. You think they're gonna cut her part out of the series? Man, you are out of your mind, son. She's clearly playing Mara Jade. I've been waiting for this for, since the Marvel, since Disney acquired Marvel or Lucasfilm. I wanted Mara Jade on the big screen or the little screen. It's clear. She's playing Mara Jade. We're finally going to get that force sensitive wife to Luke Skywalker. It's amazing, and she's the best person for the part. No one can beat the legit boss, buddy.
Yeah, we'll see if the legit. I mean, I guess she kind of has the hair for it, depending on what day of the week it is. It might be purple, it might be fuchsia, it might be dark red. I don't know about Mara Jade though, son. We'll see. I mean, I hope she's not playing Mara Jade, so that way we actually get to see Mara Jade at a bigger role. Yeah, I know. I'm hating on the legit boss right now. I'm hating on the big boss lady. What can I say? Sasha Banks should always have a place in my heart, but you better not be playing Mara Jade because I want to see her fulfilled. Someone else, maybe even Amy Adams, someone who can really dig into the role.
She's not. She can't be a Jedi. She can't. She's not athletic. Doesn't make sense.
CGI, son. 2020 West. You can make anybody athletic now.
You just ended this show on a sour note. All right. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today for this week's Geek-span. We had a lot of fun. And I don't know. Maybe Skip won't be back next week. He's dissing the legit boss, and I can't have it. You got anything to say before we go, Skip?
I'm surprised I was back this week. I thought I'd already been fired. I guess I'm a hard person to fire, y'all. So I don't know, unless one of y'all send in the applications like I told you so you can replace me. I'll probably be back next week too, stinking up the joint with my terrible takes. Make sure you guys are here. Bring a clothespin. It's going to get stinky. We'll see you guys next week.
Later.